Holly's Hot Wedding Tips.
Thanks for having me.
So excited to have you from Salted Sweets. So you specialize in the delectable desserts for brides for weddings, yes?
Yes, like all kinds of customized desserts, wedding cakes, dessert bars, all that good stuff. So just a little bit of everything, but yeah, just getting the wheels turning here for this wedding season.
That's great. What are the hottest trends in desserts?
So this year is a little bit different than the years past, although not so much as last year. Last year, really rustic cakes were in, kind of like the speckle look, which is still really popular this year. But this year, a lot of brides are opting to go with the naked cake, which is basically a cake that has no frosting on the outside, and it has a lot of fruit or like leaves and berries and things like that, kind of to decorate the outside, so you can actually see the layers of the cake around. And then also macaroons are huge this year.
Really?
Yeah, macaroons are like really popular, and they're going to be kind of the big thing to have. So a lot of brides are going to do like a small 2-tier cake for cutting and photographs, and then have like either a dessert bar or like a macaroon display off to the side there for their guests. So
how nice. So finger-like foods that you can just grab and go, that you don't have to be served.
Grab and go. And I actually was just reading this morning that ice cream bars are a big thing, which I was really excited about, because when I got married in April of 2015, we had an ice cream and cookie bar, and I was like, yay for being a trendsetter!
Yay, good for you. How exciting. What's the most unique wedding that you've ever done?
So I had a wedding about 2 years ago, and it was for one of my girlfriends that I've known since I was 3, I want to say. Yeah, 3 years old. And her and her now husband, they got married up actually in Parker, so not too far. And they wanted to do a very rustic, like sticks and leaves kind of theme. It was in the fall, and so her whole wedding cake was covered in buttercream, and then I piped sticks like all over it, and it was so beautiful because all the like the centerpieces on the tables were all just like bare sticks, and so like the cake kind of tied together with all that, and then like their bouquets were very simple browns and greens and whites, like not too overpowering. So that one was really fun because it was for somebody that I knew, and it was just like really interesting looking cake. You don't really see a lot like that. So
excellent. Rustic. How fun. Yeah. What do brides need to know about desserts and different options for their wedding?
So pretty much do what you want to do. I mean, yeah, naked cakes might be a thing, or macaroons might be really popular right now, but like if you like a really classic cake with just plain with buttercream and a ribbon, like go with it. If you want something a little bit more intricate, know that you're going to pay a little bit more for it, but it's worth it, you know, like you want to wow the guests, great, wow the guests. But I think that's an overall rule, not just for desserts, but just in general. Just although things might be popular, like just do what you want to do. At the end of the day, it's your wedding, and you know, if you like carrot cake, then get carrot cake. I mean, maybe your guests aren't going to like it, but it's your wedding, so maybe get one tier carrot and then the other one's chocolate and vanilla or whatever, you know. But I think that they need to know that like the day, although it goes so fast and it's so crazy, like it's little things like the ice cream and cookie bar that we had. Like my husband still talks about it. He's like, that was so awesome. And you know, that was almost a year ago and he's still talking about it. So it's little details like that, whether it's the flavor of the cake or your design specialty, that you kind of make it your own, but also know that like if you're going to do something a little bit more extravagant, then you're going to end up paying for it.
Right. So the more intricate, the more work that goes into it, the more costly it is.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, you're basically you're paying not only for the product but also for the time and the labor. So
got it. Okay. What questions should brides and grooms be asking that they just don't know to ask about desserts?
So like actually kind of ties in with the previous question, which is great. So what they should be asking is more like what their style is. Like not necessarily asking, but kind of, this is my vision, this is my color scheme, this is sort of like, I like to know where brides and grooms are getting married, because it kind of gives me an idea of people are getting married, you know, in big ballroom, they generally don't want something so rustic, versus if people are getting married, you know, out in Larkspur, they usually like want a little bit more rustic and kind of country style, but they should just kind of be asking more like, what can I do to like make my vision complete without breaking the bank, you know, because yeah, obviously I'm in it to make money at the end of the day, you know, I'm a business person, but I also understand that brides and grooms are on a budget and they need to work around certain things, and a lot of times the cake ends up being kind of at the bottom of the barrel. And I like to work with brides. I had a bride and she asked me to do this super intricate 4-tier fondant covered cake with like hand piped, all the stuff, and it was a beautiful, beautiful cake, but her budget was about half of what that cake would have cost. So we worked together and I kind of gave her some ideas and we kind of modified the cake from its original huge vision.
So original Pinterest Vogue look.
Pinterest Vogue, right. Pinterest is not real life. Pinterest is a bunch of fake, you know, display cakes that people do to get people talking and like get ideas out, which I do it myself, you know, I'm guilty. But the whole vision, the whole point behind Pinterest is not to say this is exactly what I want, but it's to say, okay, I like this aspect, and how can we modify this to make this work with my budget? To
have a real world cake.
Yes.
Inspired by
other world Pinterest. By a $3,000 Pinterest cake.
Right. No, that makes perfect sense. What tips do you have for brides when they're planning their wedding? What kind of things are you seeing that they ought to know?
I feel like as a recent bride myself, I kind of have a lot of like perspective on like, you know, trends and things like that. And last year when I got married, things were in style and I was like, that is not me at all. And I kind of just, again, I just did what I wanted. Like I was like, you know what, like this is what I want to do. I wanted it to be kind of vintage inspired, but it was like also a little bit of kind of country. So
country vintage.
Yeah, people were like, that's crazy. You can't mix burlap and glitter. Like you just can't do it. And I was like, watch me. And I did it. And it was amazing.
Oh, that's good.
And it came out, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but like I feel like my vision kind of came together. And like this year, mauves and like kind of a lot of neutral tones are really in, like this shirt and the shirt you're wearing, like very neutrals. But some brides don't like these like kind of pastel-y colors. They want pop. They want bright yellows and bright blues and things like that. Great, do it. Like at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like whether it's your cake or your bridesmaids dresses, or I mean, you don't want people like walking around looking like Big Bird, but but if you want to have yellow, do yellow. Like have yellow accents. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just do what you want to do, because at the end of the day, again, it's your day, and if you're not happy with, you know, if the color of your bridesmaids dresses is mauve and you really wanted them to be yellow, like you're going to be really grumpy on your wedding day because you're not going to have the vision come together like you wanted. So just, you know, take these ideas from Pinterest or, you know, like Google or wherever and kind of bring them together to make your own vision. Don't just copy someone else's. So
excellent. What don't brides know about dessert businesses that they need to know, especially sweet treats?
So at Salted Sweets, the thing that you are really paying for is the quality. A lot of bakeries, unfortunately, have turned to using mixes for cakes and buttercreams and things like that. And everything that I make is from scratch, with the exception of the fondant, which I am currently working on my recipe for making my own fondant. It's a little taxing, but I'm working on it. It's just the right ratio. But I make all my cakes, all my fillings, buttercreams, everything is made from scratch to order. And I use as much like local, organic, and sustainable product as I possibly can. So for me specifically about my business, the thing that you're really paying for is not only the time and the decoration, but you're really paying for the quality of the product. Some brides, like I said, don't really care if their cake doesn't taste good. But I'm finding more and more that people are willing to pay for something that tastes good, because they realize that they're paying for it anyway, so they may as well get something good out of it for an extra 50 cents a head, you know, instead of it just going into the trash, because most people take one bite and they're like, this is gross, and then they don't eat it, versus making something that's delicious, and then they're running out of cake because people are, oh, can I get a second piece? Or, you know, I've actually had brides be like, we had 20 extra servings and they're gone. So the bride and groom ended up not even getting cake, so I ended up remaking them their topper, because I was like, I felt so bad that I was like, it's your wedding and you didn't even get your cake. So, but I think that for me specifically, I was raised in a home where we ate like a lot of organic products. My dad was an organic farmer, so.
Wow, so you have an insight to organic farming and thus your passion for organic and natural products.
Yeah, so I don't like to use things with preservatives. I mean, obviously it's hard because, you know, like any kind of white flour is stripped and then they add things to it, and it's hard to get that completely organic, but I use as high level quality as I can. I try to use like King Arthur flours and organic sugar and things like that. And yeah, you're gonna pay a little bit more, but at the end of the day, like, you're getting organic, you're getting local, and you know, it's a little better for you, and it tastes delicious.
That's good. How exciting. Delicious and good for you too. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.